Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my Game Week 5 team selection and the transfers that I'm thinking of making. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment with your plans for your team for Game Week 5, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off in goal, we do have Henderson, who has Man United at home. I'm not really expecting much from this fixture at all. From a defensive standpoint for Palace, they have been pretty subpar since the start of the season, and they've just been letting in goals for fun. And Henderson is somebody that I really cannot wait to get out of my team. He hasn't given me a single clean sheet since, obviously, bringing him in my Game Week 1 team. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just getting rid of him, bringing in Raya on my Game Week 6 wildcard draft, and then just not having to worry about my goalkeeper for the rest of the season, barring any potential injuries or anything like that. So yeah, not expecting much. It's not exactly it's not the worst fixture in the world. It is at home, but, you know, I was hoping for something from Leicester and he conceded 2. So it is what it is. I'm hoping for something, but I'm not going into this game week expecting any kind of points from my goalkeeper. Probably just going to be a 1-pointer. We will wait and see. Fingers crossed for something, but yeah, I'm not expecting anything. At the back, we do have some pretty nice fixtures. We've got Trent, who's got Bournemouth at home. We've got Robinson, who's got Newcastle at home. And then we have Pedro Porro, who's got Brentford at home. So all home fixtures for the defenders and the goalkeeper, but there are some tough fixtures in there as well. So obviously Robinson with Newcastle at home is not an ideal fixture. Again, this will be the last week I think I have Robinson as well. I can't really see myself keeping him on a wildcard draft for Game Week 6. The good thing is, though, he has actually made me 0.1 mil. I think he's 4.7 mil now, which is pretty nice. Obviously, I brought him in for 4.5, so that's a bit of a boost. It does kind of cancel out the 0.1 that I lost with Ben Mee, so I will go back to my actual I think I'll go back to my original budget. I did lose money on Eze, but obviously I've made money on other players as well, like Haaland and Smith Rowe, so I might actually be a little bit up. But either way, Robinson, who's got Newcastle at home, I'm not really expecting much from this fixture. Newcastle haven't been insane going forward, but, you know, Isak's injured as well. How long is he going to be out for? So if he's obviously out for this fixture, then that makes it a little bit better for Robinson. But again, I'm not really expecting much from this fixture either. The two main fixtures for my defenders are Bournemouth at home for Trent and then Brentford at home for Porro. Again, probably the last fixtures that I have for all of these players at the back and goalkeeper. I don't think I'm going to be keeping Trent on a wildcard draft. I don't think I'm going to be keeping Porro on a wildcard draft either. So yeah, like I say, this wildcard draft is going to be getting rid of like 85% of my players. So there'll be a lot of good buys for Game Week 6, but hopefully I can send them off with some points. But yeah, again, I like the fixtures for Porro and Trent. Again, not expecting any kind of clean sheets from Porro either, but the attacking potential, I would keep him on a wildcard draft, but the fact that he just doesn't look like he's on many set pieces at all now. He is still getting into really good positions, but if he doesn't get anything from an attacking standpoint, he's probably going to concede, and that's kind of where it just doesn't really make up for the 5.5 price tag. If it was 5 mil, I would definitely keep him, but for 5.5, I'd rather use that extra mil in somebody in like midfield and then obviously downgrade him to a 4.5 mil defender. And then Trent, who's got Bournemouth at home. I might keep Trent. I'm not completely convinced. The fixtures for Liverpool do take a little bit of a turn for Game Week 6. Obviously, Wolves away is really good, but then they've got Palace away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Brighton at home, Villa at home. Like, they're not crazy good fixtures. And I don't think from a defensive standpoint I need Trent. Like, I wouldn't be as worried about not owning him. You know, he hasn't really got an attacking... I don't think he's had an attacking return, actually, at the season, for the season so far. He's just had 3 clean sheets in the first 3 fixtures. A couple of bonus points here and there. But apart from that, he hasn't gotten anything. Again, he's created a lot of chances. It's been unlucky not to get an attacking return. But yeah, he's not somebody that I think I'm going to have going forward. So, and there's a lot of money in Trent as well for 7 mil, so obviously I could use that elsewhere. But either way, that's the goalkeeper and the defenders. In midfield, we've got Diogo Jota, who's got Bournemouth at home. Now, he did start the Champions League fixture last night. He came off early, came off after the 60th minute, so I'm not worried about him. I don't think I'm really that worried about him not starting for Bournemouth. I think he will get subbed early again, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting rid of Jota as well on my wildcard draft, because he's just been getting subbed a lot earlier than I'd like to see. So yeah, I think he will start for Bournemouth, but yeah, probably like a 65th minute, 70th minute kind of substitution there. But either way, could easily do damage against Bournemouth in that time. Eze, who's got Man United at home. Again, a player that I'm kind of umming and ahhing about getting rid of on my wildcard draft, just simply because he is still on penalties, but he's sharing penalties now, so it definitely makes him as an option a lot less appealing. Still a really good player, still playing in this really good kind of, well, I say really good side. They haven't had a great start to the season, and the fixtures aren't ideal after this either. I mean, Everton away is good, but then they've got Liverpool at home, Spurs at home coming up, you know, Villa, stuff like that. They've got Man United this week, so it's not a player that I think I need. Like, there's a player like, you know, like Mbeumo is obviously a much better option in my opinion, so I'll probably be going for him there, but again, it just depends on the rest of the midfielders that I have. Rodgers, who's got Wolves at home, again, just a really good enabler. Did play in the Champions League last night. I think he played the majority of the game as well. Was first choice. So I think he's just solid as an option for 5 mil. Really good enabler. I really like him in my team. He's actually gone up a little bit of money as well now as well. It was 5.1. If he gets any kind of attacking return, he's going to go up to 5.2. I think it's just written there. We do have Mo Salah, who is my current captaincy with Bournemouth at home. Again, didn't really look great in the Champions League fixture last night either. I don't know if he's like got his foot off the gas or not. I don't really know what's going on. I think I still will go into Game Week 5 with him as my captaincy. Haaland can still do damage against Arsenal. You know, he has scored against them a few times in the past, actually. But, you know, with Salah, he can just do ridiculous things. Even though the last 2 games for him haven't been ideal in the Champions League, then obviously Forest, but hopefully they will get that reply, just like they got in the Champions League, in the league, and they will do some damage against Bournemouth. So yeah, I think he will be my captaincy. And then Smith Rowe will be starting as well, Newcastle at home. Started in the Cup last night, I do believe. I don't know if he got any kind of attacking returns. I think they did go through. They might have gone through on penalties or something like that. But either way, with Muniz kind of being downgraded to the B team because he started in the Cup last night. I know that Smith Rowe did as well, but I think that Muniz is just got to be like an instant sell. As soon as that Game Week 5 deadline hits, I'm going to be getting rid of all of these players just to dodge any kind of price changes and stuff like that. But yeah, Smith Rowe with Newcastle at home. Again, not the best fixture, but I kind of have to play him because I just don't really have a bench at the moment. So that's the midfield. And then up top, we've got Haaland, who's got Arsenal at home. And then we've got João Pedro, who's got Forest at home. Again, João Pedro still injured. Will like to hear some information about him soon. We should get information before the press conference because, like I say, I think he's still a really good option, even going forward against Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle. I mean, the fixtures are really bad for Brighton. They have Wolves at home, sandwiched between Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle, City, and Liverpool. There are better options, and I think somebody like Calvert-Lewin or Vardy will probably be better to have on a wildcard draft, but I still don't mind João Pedro, and I definitely don't mind him this week if he's fit. And then obviously on the bench we've got Ward, who's got Everton at home, Muniz, who's got Newcastle at home, Johnson, who's got Bournemouth away, Southampton away, should I say, and then Ben Mee, who's got Spurs away, but all just bench players at the moment. I need to get rid of them all out of my team, and I will be as well. Again, like I say, as soon as that Game Week 5 deadline hits, Johnson's gone, Mee's gone, Muniz is gone. All these different players are gone that have just been giving me issues throughout the first 5 weeks of the season. But that's how the team's looking for Game Week 5. Let's move over onto the transfer situation. So you guys did answer my question in the last video, which I really do appreciate. If I do wildcard in Game Week 6 and I roll the transfer in 5, I will still have the transfer in 7. So that is music to my ears because I would really like to roll the transfer just as a bit of an extra safety net. You know, having use a wild card and then also having extra free transfers like later on down the line would be really beneficial. So I'm going to try my best to not use a transfer this week because there's not really anybody that I want to bring in. Like the thing about wild carding and obviously transferring being kept, kind of like the free transfers being kept, you can't really go for 1 week punts anymore because it doesn't really make that sense. Whereas before you'd be like, I'm just going to go for this punt. If it goes wrong, I'm going to get rid of him and then I'm a wild card anyway. But now it's like, if I go for this punt and it doesn't go well, I've kind of wasted that free transfer. So it's not as good in that sense because it kind of kills a little bit the excitement there. But at the same time, it is still quite beneficial to be able to roll that transfer. Like, looking at this team, there's not really anybody that I need to get rid of. Like, the only issue would be if João Pedro's injured. You know, if João Pedro's injured, I don't have anybody to bring in for him. So I would have to use a transfer in that case so I can field 11 players because I don't think Muniz is going to start. And then Johnson and Ben Mee probably not going to start either. So if that's the case, we get early team news or I guess in the press conference that João Pedro has not been training or whatever, then I will have to get rid of him, which has probably been the worst transfer ever because I brought him in for a hit last week, didn't play, and now he's not playing this week, so I'd have to get rid of him again, and then obviously our wild card. I could get rid of, you know, one of my other players if need be. You know, I could get rid of Ben Mee, I could get rid of Johnson, I could get rid of Muniz. I do have 1.7 in the bank. And so if that's the case, like if another player that I want to get rid of anyway is approaching a price drop, like if Ben Mee is approaching a price drop, I could always get rid of him, bring in a different player. But there's not really any defenders that I'm kind of targeting this week either. Like from a defensive standpoint, the best ones are probably Liverpool, and I already have 3 Liverpool players. So apart from that, again, defender transfers don't look very good this week. And then, yeah, I think it just has to be a striker transfer, really. Like, even if João Pedro's out, maybe I just transfer out Muniz or something like that. But again, that's still... Muniz should still come off and get a point in the worst case scenario. So it probably would have to be João Pedro. And again, the only options that I really kind of am looking at is probably just Dominic Solanke. I could do a bit of a sideways move and get rid of João Pedro and bring in Welbeck. That's something I could do. And then obviously just wildcard them out. It's not the best thing in the world, but it is something I could do. I'd love to bring in like Watkins this week. But I can't because he's 8.9. I only have 1.7 mil in the bank, so I can only go up to 7.7 mil from a striker perspective. Could, like I say, if I wanted to punt, I could go for Jackson. You know, I could do that, get rid of Muniz, bring in Jackson, who's 7.6. And then obviously, like I say, I've just been speaking about one week punts, but if João Pedro's out, then I could do that and then just field him. But at the same time, I think it's probably just safer to bring in Dominic Solanke, who has Brentford at home, still hasn't scored. He's back from injury now. He definitely could have got a goal against Arsenal, but maybe that's just the way I go. Get rid of him, bring in Solanke, and then just wildcard him out in game week 6. So I don't really want him after that. I mean, I could have him on a game week 6 wildcard, but he's not somebody that I'm really that bothered about owning. So that would be the worst case scenario. If João Pedro's out, get rid of Muniz, bring in Solanke, and then just field him. But if João Pedro is fine, then I think I just roll the transfer and just go with this team, because I don't have to make the transfer if João Pedro is fine. And, you know, I won't have a bench, but at the same time, all of these players should play. Jota's probably the one that I'm worried about the most, but he did come off early in the Champions League. He did start in the Champions League, and I feel like you're going to play your best team in the Champions League as well. So either way, that is my current team selection for Game Week 5. Obviously, we have more games tonight, so hold off on the transfers. Another injury might happen tonight, and it could completely change everything that I'm thinking about. Hopefully it doesn't, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell, and until next time, peace.